Please subscribe and like to my channel for more news update. The Trump administration has formally rescinded the Environmental Protection Agency's endangerment finding. The 2009 determination that carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas emissions pose a threat to public health. For nearly 2 decades, the finding allowed the EPA to regulate greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act. Its repeal eliminates emission standards for U.S. cars and trucks and opens the door for heavy industry to roll back pollution limits. Lee Zeldin joined Donald Trump at the White House Thursday to announce the move. Zeldin said the endangerment finding didn't just regulate emissions, it regulated and targeted the American dream, adding that all greenhouse gas standards based on the finding are now eliminated. Environmental and public health organizations called the repeal a devastating setback in the global effort to confront the climate crisis and pledged legal challenges. David Arkush, director of Public Citizens Climate Program, said, quote, "If left to stand, this action will cripple the government's ability to address the most severe environmental threat in human history, harming Americans and the world for decades to come." On Capitol Hill, senators failed Thursday to advance a bill funding the Department of Homeland Security through September, setting the stage for a partial government shutdown at midnight. Democrats are pushing for limits on immigration enforcement operations, including bans on agents wearing face coverings, requirements to display identification, stricter use of force rules, and judicial warrants to enter private property. A shutdown is not expected to immediately affect mass deportation efforts, as Congress previously approved $75 billion for immigration and customs enforcement under Republicans' so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. Trump's border advisor, Tom Homan, announced federal agents will end Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota. The weeks-long operation involved roughly 3,000 ICE, Border Patrol, and federal agents conducting immigration raids across the Twin Cities, often masked and in unmarked vehicles. More than 4,000 people were detained. Agents repeatedly deployed tear gas and pepper spray against protesters and bystanders, including children. Federal agents shot 3 people in Minnesota, killing 2, Renee Good and Alex Prey. Protests continue outside the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis. One demonstrator said, "Until they stop snatching our neighbors off the streets, we don't believe their claims." In related news, a Marine Corps veteran who served in Iraq and Afghanistan says federal agents unlawfully collected his DNA, scanned his face, and cloned his phone after detaining him while he observed law enforcement activity. Stephen Sari told The Intercept he was held for 6 hours without access to a lawyer and released without charge. The Washington Post reports the Internal Revenue Service improperly shared private taxpayer data with the Department of Homeland Security, potentially violating federal law. The IRS reportedly sent information on 47,000 individuals after DHS requested access to 1.2 million records. Undocumented immigrants have long paid taxes, with the understanding their personal data would remain protected. A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to facilitate the return of nearly 140 Venezuelan men expelled to El Salvador's Cocotí mega prison last March. Judge James Boasberg ruled the men were denied due process after being removed under the Alien Enemies Act, despite an emergency court order blocking their deportation. Palestinian activist Lila Cordia has issued her first statement since being hospitalized and returned to ICE custody. Detained for nearly a year in Texas, Cordia described being shackled in a hospital after suffering her first seizure, writing that she believes she was targeted for protesting Israel's war on Gaza. New York officials have renewed calls for her release. In the United Kingdom, the High Court overturned the government's ban on the pro-Palestinian group Palestine Action, though the organization remains temporarily proscribed while the government appeals. Co-founder Huda Amori called the ruling a major victory for free expression. 2 Mexican ships carrying humanitarian aid arrived in Havana as the United Nations warns Cuba faces humanitarian collapse due to the Trump administration's oil blockade. Infant mortality is rising as the U.S. tightens its decades-old economic embargo. Later in the broadcast, we'll speak with Cuba's UN ambassador, Ernesto Soberon Guzman. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright arrived in Venezuela this week, the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit since Trump's January military operation. Wright toured oil facilities in the Orinoco Belt alongside Chevron officials. Venezuela's interim government has also shipped oil to Israel for the first time in nearly 2 decades. In the fallout from the Epstein files, lawmakers are demanding the unredaction of names in newly released documents. Former Goldman Sachs General Counsel Catherine Rumler resigned Thursday after files showed she advised Jeffrey Epstein. Authorities in Norway have charged former Prime Minister Thorbjørn Jagland with corruption over alleged ties to Epstein. A federal judge has blocked Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's effort to reduce the retirement rank and pay of Democratic Senator Mark Kelly. Judge Richard Leon wrote the administration had trampled on constitutional free speech protections. And here in New York, cheers erupted as officials and LGBTQ+ activists raised a rainbow flag over the Stonewall National Monument after the Trump administration removed it earlier this week. One New Yorker said, "We will not be erased." Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.